Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. In this update, we're going to check out AVAX's price chart, see what is going on in the short term, and tell you why, yeah, I think we are still looking quite optimistic. But before we get into all that good stuff, I believe we got some very important and big news to talk about in Avalanche. Now, in case you missed it, Aave, which is the largest decentralized lending protocol in the whole crypto space, with nearly $14 billion locked across 23 blockchain, they just announced that they are actually deploying their brand new V4 upgrade on Avalanche. And here is the part that is very important and key. You see, this is actually the first time that Aave V4 has launched on any chain outside of Ethereum. Out of 23 chains that Aave operates on, Avalanche was actually the one that was chosen as the flagship expansion of its most advanced architecture. And to understand why that is sort of kind of a big deal, I think you need to know a little bit more about what V4 actually does. You see, this is the new hub and spoke design that is giving each type of asset its own dedicated lending market with its own risk rules, while, very important point, all markets share basically the same underlying pool of liquidity. In simple terms, this essentially means that institutions can now lend against, for example, a tokenized treasury bond without that position contaminating the same pool used for regular crypto loans. And this, I think, we can all say with a lot of confidence that is a much safer and cleaner way to go about it, and also it is built specifically for the kind of institutional use cases that Avalanche has been assembling for the past two and a half years. Now, the timing of this, I think, couldn't be more relevant, since more than $34 billion in RWA are currently tokenized on public blockchains, which is nearly 3 times what it was just a year ago. Aave's founder actually is targeting $1 billion in RWA deposits on the protocol, and also they forecast the broader market could potentially and hopefully hit, guess what, $100 billion by the end of this year, 2026. And on top of all that, Bridgewater recently announced on July 13th that it tokenized over $11 billion in RWA production on Avalanche using Chainlink's infrastructure, which I think is a move that pushed Avalanche to 5th place in net RWA inflows globally. So as you can see, the pieces are finally coming together for AVAX, and they are actually coming together very fast, and they are all again pointing in the same direction. Now, one more reason that I think this announcement is genuinely significant for AVAX actually comes down to, in my view at least, what was missing before. You see, Avalanche already had tokenized layer. We are talking about Progmat, Securitize, Bridgewater, bringing billions and billions of dollars in real assets on chain. AVAX also had payments layer, and in this case we are talking about the payment collective program, Hyundai, StraightX, so on and so forth. And they also had the stablecoin layer, which by that we are talking about Paxos, Agora, and also Circle. Now, what Avalanche didn't really have until now was actually a credit market, meaning the ability for institutions to borrow and also lend against all those tokenized assets without selling them. Aave V4 here completely closes that gap, and from this point moving forward, institutions can now deposit tokenized treasuries, bond, or maybe even real estate as collateral and borrow against them directly on Avalanche, and that transforms Avalanche from a tokenized platform into hopefully a complete end-to-end institutional financial system. And I think this is actually going to set a very important precedent, since Aave again is the biggest player in the whole DeFi sector. So if this works, I think you are going to see a lot of other companies also choosing Avalanche as their partner. So if you got time, I would highly suggest to just do a bit more research on this one. I think you are going to find a lot of interesting points, and I think you are going to realize, I would say relatively quickly, why this is such a big deal for AVAX. Now, with all that said, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on in a very short term. There we go. Okay, let's go on our own chart from TradingView. So If you remember, the last time that we talked about Avalanche, I think we were right around here, and the idea was that, well, okay, we could get a bit of a move on the downside, but hopefully that move is going to be a correction structure. However, right in here may not necessarily be a long opportunity. What is going on right now, and can we still say maybe this is indeed a correction? I think the answer to that question might be a solid yes. Why? Because is this thing a relatively slow move down or not? I think so. Yes, you see, from the highs to about the current point, this phase down has taken us in Avalanche on H1 time frame roughly around 290 candlesticks. On the other hand, in about, as you can see, 290, 300 candlesticks, we got this good move on the upside. And I'll be honest, even this thing is not necessarily that much of a big move, but it sure as hell seems like that, yep, in this phase, we are sort of kind of failing to pull the price all the way back down to these levels. Now, having said that, I do think, due to the fact that in like very short term in this area, I think we may not necessarily have a bit of a 5 wave. There is a chance that this whole pattern from here is just a correction structure, maybe like an ABC or maybe even a WXY, and then we may see another move down in order to take the loss. Now, if we want to do this at that point in Avalanche, you don't really want to see like a massive move down in order to take this low, because, well, at that point, odds of us being able to be bullish is gonna be not necessarily that high. So in an ideal scenario, you just want to see another move down, either from here or maybe from a bit higher in order to take the lows, get to about here, and then have a very quick bounce back. And here's a very important point. At what point in Avalanche can we be bullish with a little bit more confidence? Actually, I would argue with a decent bit of confidence. Well, you probably know my stance on this, since I have actually talked about it in the last update. You see, in Avalanche, not yet, but right now it seems like that we want to have a bit of a beautiful head and shoulder structure. Now, again, it's very important to understand that this pattern right now, it's not really confirmed yet. When will it get confirmed? When we get a good move up in order to have a confirmed break of the neckline right around this area between, let's say, 7 to about $7.1, and by a confirmed break, you know my stance on this. I mean, we go above here in a relatively strong manner and then start doing a relatively slow and choppy pullback, and then have another move up. And the moment in here we take this high, yep, this head and shoulder is confirmed, and it is going to send us up to where, well, in like very short term, if you want to know the target, you need to measure the height of your pattern. And did I put the chart on regular? Nope, absolutely not. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, and you need to put this thing at your breaking point. As you can see, in the short term, the target can be roughly around, let's say, $8.5, $9 region, which from the current point, this translates to about a 30-35% move on the upside. And I don't know about you guys, from my POV, yeah, that's definitely not that bad. Right in here though, if you want to open a long position, may I suggest have a very tight stop loss, and maybe if you want to be a bit more safe, just put your stop under the lowest low down here, which if I just hide everything, it's gonna be about, let's say, $5.6, $5.5 area. So if you want to open a long around the current area in Avalanche, you're gonna have essentially a $1 stop. What's gonna be your target? Well, if we are going to go up, and what is in your and also my mind in play, then okay, at that point you're having about a $2 target minimum. So your risk reward ratio is about 1 to 2, which, well, it's not really that bad, but honestly, it's not really that great either. I would personally like to wait a little bit more and see, are we going to have a good move up in order to go above the neckline and then have this pullback or not? If we get this thing, well, okay, at that point I can actually open a long position with my stop loss under this low, about $6.5, and my target once again around that $8 area, meaning I'm gonna have at that point a risk reward ratio of about 1 to 3, which is, I would argue, a little bit better than a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So overall in AVAX, I think if you want to know what's next in a very short term and are we bullish or not, my suggestion is to just have your eyes on this very important neckline for this supposedly head and shoulder structure right in here, about $7.1. Get a break of it, yeah, at that point we are looking promising. And again, $8.5 is just gonna be the first target. I think we are going to go probably quite a bit higher than that, preferably I'm gonna say around the lower band of this very, now I would say, a strong resistance area, about $10. And at that point, yeah, you're looking at about what, a 40-50% move on the upside, which is really, really nice. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Avalanche. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.